I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Brakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect, and much respect to the brothers pushing this word in the four winds of the earth. And say shalom to you few sisters out there as well. Brother Ariyah coming at you with a lesson here. And just wanted to go into this as far as the, well, you see it here, the sex lives of the Caesars, man. You know, because we've been hearing about these particular men, you know, when we were in school, right? And they were deemed as great men. And now come to find out when we come in the truth that we hear about these men that they're actually in the Bible. And you've been seeing a lot of brothers going into Second Esdras, the 11th chapter and the 12th chapter, which speaks about some of the men that I'm going to talk about today. And basically to bring out, man, that these most of these Caesars were Moes, man. Okay, the only one that wasn't a Mo that the historians say is Domitian, who is of the Flavian dynasty. He's pretty much the only one that they said that, you know, flew straight, if you want to say it that way. Okay, but pretty much everyone else dibbled and dabbled in fornication, man. And I just wanted to shed some light on that. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. All right. So the first one is Caesar. Now, you know, I'll just give a quick synopsis. I'm not going to read, you know, the whole story because we'll be here all day. So the first one is Julius Caesar. Okay. He's definitely mentioned in Second Esdras, the 11th chapter. Okay. And to give you a quick synopsis on him, he enjoyed taking the submissive route, you know, or the feminine role, because, you know, back then in Rome, what they would do was, you know, because back then, if women was pregnant, a lot of them would die from the pregnancy. So what these men would do is say, okay, you know, we don't want to risk any of our women dying, and we're going to sleep with men. This is the way that they justified it. Okay. Now, most of the 12 Caesars, well, not most of them, some of them took the submissive role, if you understand what I'm saying. You know, they were taking the female role, so to speak, okay, which a lot of the people in Rome didn't agree with, because they didn't feel like a man of power should be in a submissive role in a relationship. But, you know, homosexuality was very much accepted back there in ancient Rome, right? And Julius Caesar, he enjoyed taking the submissive role, or the feminine role, you know, in his relationships with men, right? And he also slept with many men's wives as well, man. Okay? At the end of the day, he was a sexual deviant. So he slept with men and women, you know? And, you know, Julius, of course, as we all know, was a wicked Edomite, man. Right? And I'm not going to do all 12 Caesars. I'll probably do like 5, because once again, I'll be here all day, man. Now, yeah. Let's see if they don't have a picture of Tiberius. But Tiberius was another Caesar, but he's a part of the contrary feathers, the 8 contrary feathers. You know, the 8 contrary feathers was Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Nero, Galba, Otho, and Vitellius. Those are the 8 contrary feathers there. And he's one of them. And man, Tiberius was a bastard. Okay, he was a pedophile, right? And he liked young boys, of course. And he did most of his dirt on the Mediterranean islands. He didn't do any of his dirt in Rome. You know, he had his own island to go ahead and do what he did. And, you know, that reminds me of Jeffrey Epstein, man. His island, how, you know, he had a lot of, you know, young boys and girls over there, you know, giving sexual favors to himself and his friends. And as a matter of fact, there was an article, not to get off subject, but real quick, there was an article saying how, you know, all of those people, I believe it's over 100 people on the list, are about to be revealed. So now we finally get to see who was going to them islands, even though we already know some of them that's been, you know, doing some things over there. But, you know, keep an eye on that as well. Okay, and it says, okay, yeah, Tiberius, that's what we on, Tiberius. So he would force young boys, you know, to have orgies in front of him, man. Okay, that's what he would do to get off at the end of the day, man. Another sick man. Okay, and he would also do detestable things with baby boys, man, in front of their mothers, man. And, you know, things that I won't speak of or mention in this lesson. But you can only imagine, you know, what he would do. You know, when men get into a position of power, man, you know, it brings out the worst in most men, especially Edomites. You know, it brings out the worst in them, and they fulfill all of their desires because they feel that they can do so, man, at anyone's expense, right? It was another one, I believe it was Nero, I wanted to get into real quick. I didn't want to make this lesson too long, but I just wanted to bring, you know, shine some light on with these. Now, this is Nero here. As you can see his name, this is Nero. And you can't tell me that's not an Edomite, man. With the pointy nose and the thin monkey lips and the red hair, the carrot top. Well, this is a depiction of Nero here. And Nero was married to two men during his time of rule, okay, and which he took on the feminine role as well, man. Okay, he was the catcher. You know, so to speak, man. You know, he wasn't the pitcher. He was the catcher, and so a lot of people were giving him trouble about that as well, as I mentioned with Julius Caesar, as him taking a submissive role, and what he did, okay, with his second husband, which I believe was a boy, man. He castrated him. Okay, he castrated the boy, and then he took on the more masculine role after he castrated him to appease the people. Okay, because like I said back then, it was widely accepted, you know, men marrying men, you know, and things of that nature. But they didn't accept the men in power taking the submissive role. That's where they drew the line at, man. Okay, and yeah, man, he castrated the young boy, and you know, yada yada yada. And I just wanted to shed light on these wicked men, man. Okay, and of course I want to hit some scriptures. All right, and you got Caligula here. Let me see, because he's part of the 12 feathers as well, and Claudius. Okay, the story of Claudius here too is crazy, man. It was more about his wife, man. I'm not gonna read it, but I know the story. Claudius, who was one of the contrary feathers as well, in Second Esdras, the 11th chapter, his wife was sleeping around a lot, man. You know, his wife made a bet with a town whore to see how many men they could sleep with in a day, and she beat the whore by one. As it says right here, it says, needless to say, Messalina came out on top after nonstop intercourse day and night. Her final head count was 25 to her opponent's 24, man. You know, so his wife was being a harlot around town and basically embarrassing him, man. So that's another story about these quote unquote great men, you know. And you know, Caligula here. You know, these men are wicked, man. Let me see if there's anything in here about Caligula. Well, they said one thing about him that stuck out to me is Caligula is the fact that he was sleeping with his sisters and his wife at the same time, I believe, man. Okay, yep. And it says here that he publicly paraded his sister around as his wife for a time as well, man. And these men were wicked, man. And Like I said, I didn't want to get too into it. I just want to shed some light on some of them because, like I said, if I was bringing out information on all 12 of them, I'd be here all day. But one that caught my eye because I was watching the documentary, and they said Hadrian, right, which is one of the 5 good Caesars, right? Because you had Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, and Marcus Aurelius. And those were the 5 good Caesars. Now, they were all Jakes. Now, legend has it is that Hadrian was a straight up Mo. Now, he took him a wife, right? But he only did it for political reasons. And he all he would do was sleep with men. And it's supposed that, they have a lot of erotic poetry that he wrote to his male lovers, which isn't far-fetched because, Jake's been, doing that funny shit throughout time, But yeah, they said that Hadrian was a straight up Mo, man. A flaming Mo at the end of the day. So I'm going to go into some scriptures. And Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. And of course, Hebrews 12:16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. And we know you go into that word profane, meaning ungodly, man. And that word fornicator goes into pornos, right? So we get pornos real quick. Okay, and it says a man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire, a male prostitute. And that's basically what a lot of these men were in Rome as far as the men that were with the Caesars. They were pretty much prostitutes because they would get with these Caesars to get, some type of notoriety, man, to climb the chain. So this is why they would go ahead and do that, man. And a lot of these Caesars would the word escapes me, but they would, I don't want to say train, but they would like bring little, have little boys by them, and they would, train them up, and, have sex with them and things of that nature, man. Starting from a boy's youth, that's what they would do. Okay. And that was going on heavy over there in ancient pagan Rome. All right. And it's still going on here today, man. This is why we know this is the revived Roman Empire, which is Babylon the Great, aka America, man. Because the same things are going on out here in America as well. Now, let me get as you can see here, this guy here, John Cena, walking around, and that's crazy. This dude is 265 pounds, 6'3", with a cheerleader skirt on, man, with some stockings. Yeah, this place gotta go, man. Okay, but this is something that they're pushing on the masses and trying to make it acceptable, man. It's getting real crazy out here. Let me get 1 Timothy 1:10. 1 Timothy 1:10. Okay. I'll start at 9. It says, knowing this, that the law is not made for a righteous man, but for the lawless and disobedient, for the ungodly and the sinners, for holy and profane, for murderers of fathers and murderers of mothers, for manslayers. It says for whoremongers, for them that defile themselves with mankind, for men stealers, for liars, for perjured persons, and if there be any other thing that is contrary to sound doctrine. Right? So that's pretty much going into Israelites, man. Okay? Because have no doubt at all that there was definitely Israelites out there that were concubines to the Caesars as well, man. Because we see throughout the Bible that, Israelites was, living in that life, man. Doing things that weren't convenient or unseemly, man. You've seen, Sodom and Gomorrah, Jake's, even into this day, man. We see it, man. Jakes love that. They love to to do that, man. I don't even want to speak it because I just hate. It's kind of funny for me to do this lesson because I don't. But I'm just trying to shed light on this whole thing, man, because a lot of people may not know that, these Caesars were actually moles, man. Okay, because America and try to depict these men as great and powerful men. Okay, but in the bedroom, a lot of them were little girls, man. Okay, a lot of them played the role of women at the end of So I wanted to shed some light on that, man. Okay, let me get let me see. Let's look into that word men stealers. See what that says. Okay, it says a slave dealer, a kidnapper, or a man stealer of one who unjustly reduces free men to slavery, of one who steals the slaves of others and sells them, right? Because a lot of these Caesars would have, um, slaves, man. A lot of the men that they would have around them would be slaves as well. Like I went into with Tiberius. Okay, Tiberius was one that had, like I said, he had the island, and he had a lot of young boys over there on that island, man, that he had stolen. Okay, and he was forcing them to do, have orgies and stuff in front of him, and things like that, man. You know, but this is Esau's mo right here, man. He loves to steal people, and put them in bondage, and he loves to steal animals and put them in bondage. It's gonna be a beautiful thing when them animals finally get out of them zoos and rip up a lot of these Edomites to pieces, man. That's gonna be a beautiful thing because this man likes to put a lot of people in bondage. But the most beautiful thing is that when it's all said and done, he's gonna be the one that's put in bondage. He's gonna be the one that is going to be controlled at the end of the day instead of being the controller. And ultimately, he's going to be eradicated, man, which he seeks to do to us, right? That very thing is going to happen to him. Let me get Isaiah. Let's get Isaiah 3. I'm trying to make this fast. Isaiah 3. Let's get 8. Let me see where I want. Okay. Let me get this here. 3 and 8 and 9 real quick. It says, for Jerusalem is ruined and Judah is fallen because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord to provoke the eyes of his glory. The show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin in Sodom, and they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have awarded evil unto themselves. Right? And it goes into that in Romans 1. Okay, because a lot of the men in Romans 1, right, was doing the things that I was mentioning with these Caesars here, man. A lot of them Jakes over there were doing these things where, when the Heavenly Father said he gave them over to a reprobate mind to do them things which are unseemly or do those things which are not convenient. Let me get that real quick, man. I'll start at 20. And it says, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because that when they knew the Heavenly Father, they glorified him not as the Heavenly Father, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible power into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds and four-footed beasts and creeping things. Wherefore the Heavenly Father also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator, right? Because they were depicting these men as gods at the end of the day, these Caesars, right? They were depicting them as gods and worshiping them as gods, man. Okay, so that, they were serving the creature more than the creator, more than the Heavenly Father, who was blessed forever. For this cause the Heavenly Father gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature. And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lust one toward another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat, right? Because like I said earlier, in ancient pagan Rome, it was okay, for a man to be with a man at the end of the day. It was cool. No one frowned upon it. No one thought anything of it. They thought that it was the natural order of things, man, when it really wasn't. Okay, so being a Mo over there in that time was highly accepted, man. And being filled with all unrighteousness and fornication, and wickedness and covetousness and maliciousness, and full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity. The Heavenly Father gave Israelites over to a reprobate mind over there in ancient Rome, man. Okay, because they were doing things that they saw everyone else doing. Even though in their spirit they knew it was wrong, they were men pleasers and they wanted to go along to get along. So they seen everyone else over there doing it, so they was doing it themselves, man. Okay? And, the information that, sheds more light on that, man, because I never knew that, they were Moes and they were, dipping and dabbling in these things, But when you go out and you search for these things, man, you'll find them, man. And it's not really, they don't put it out there like that, because they want these men to remain as great men. They don't, but that's why you got to go out and search, for these things, and it'll come up and you'll see, the light that they was trying to hide, man, And so, yeah, that's why I'm shedding light on this here, man. These men were straight up Moes, except for Domitian. There's nothing on Domitian, that says that he was he was a Mo, Now, Domitian, what he would do was, he was cool with his wife, he stayed with his wife, whatever, but he would do the same thing that Julius Caesar would do, man, okay? He would go out and mess with other men's wives. That was big for him too. That's something that he would do, to the point where, men would hear that he's coming and they would, hide their wives from him and their daughters, because he was trying to pop everything moving, He didn't care about, a man and a woman, being one flesh. He didn't care about none of that, man. He was trying to pop whatever he wanted. So that's something that he did, that was straight up wicked, man, I forgot to mention that, but that is definitely something that Domitian was doing, who was part of the Flavian dynasty, Flavia meaning yellow or blonde, they had the blonde hair and blue eyes, man. Edomites, all right? And let me get, I'll get one more and I'll end it. I didn't want to make it too long. We get 1 Corinthians chapter 6. And let's do 9 through 11 real fast. And it says, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. Right? Let's go into that word effeminate, man. Real quick. It's Malakos.
Strong's G 3120. Malakas.
Okay, it says soft to the touch, right? Effeminate, of a boy kept for homosexual relations with a man, right? And that's exactly what I was going to with these Caesars, man. This is what they were doing, Okay, and Jake was real effeminate over there. They were doing it with Edomite boys as well, but you already know they was doing it with Jake boys as well, man. It wasn't just Edomites in Rome. Jake was there heavy as well, right? And it says of a male who submits his body to unnatural lewdness, of a male prostitute, and that was going on a lot back then, and that's going on out here today as well, man. Okay, especially with a lot of people's favorite entertainers and basketball players, football players, rappers, whatever, you name it, man. You best believe that all of them have handlers, okay? And all of them are doing something strange for some change, man. All of them. That's the only way that they're going to be able to climb the ladder, okay? They're going to have to do something strange for some change, man. So what was going on back then is going on now, man. Okay? Let's get that. What is that? Let me see. Is Ecclesiastes 1:9, the thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. So all things that happened back then are happening now, but they're on a grand scale now, man. It's on a grand scale. And we're seeing it before our eyes day in and day out, man. And this place is waxing worse and worse, right? And yeah, man. It's getting bad, man. It's really getting, hard to see. It's just something I'd rather not deal with, but this is something that we have to deal with, man, being here in captivity, man. These are things that we have to pretty much deal with, man. Definitely not participate in, but these are things that we have to see. These are things that are pushed on our children, right? Some of our children are looking to go this way, go that way, go to the left instead of the right, because it's pushed on our children so much, man. And it really maddens me. I'm pretty sure it maddens y'all as well, man. This place gotta go, man. Okay, it's my last one. It says 1 Corinthians 5:9. I'll read to 13. And it says, I wrote unto you an epistle not to company with fornicators. Okay, we went into that, that's the word pornos, right? Let me get that again real quick. Did I go into that? I believe I did. Yeah. The same thing. Pornos, a man who prostitutes his body to another's lust for hire. And it says, yet not altogether with the fornicators of this world, or with the covetous, or extortioners, or with idolaters, for them must ye needs go out of the world. But now I have written unto you not to keep company, if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator, or covetous, or idolater, or a railer, or drunkard, or an extortioner, with such as one know not to eat. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not ye judge them that are within. But them that are without the Most High judgeth. Therefore put away from among yourselves that wicked person. We know this, man. And I remember Apostle Tahar was going into the dude that used to come in the camp, and he was texting another dude, and talk about when we going to get up, we getting up later and all that, man. And it's probably some dude, Lord willing it's not, but it's maybe some dudes in camp doing that now, man. Lord willing, it's not happening, but you never know at the end of the day, man. You never know. But Lord willing, it's not happening, man. Let me just look into this word railer real quick. What the hell is that? It caught my eye. I just wanted to see what this word means real quick. Salakia. Oh, okay. A reviler. Yeah, man. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I just wanted to bring this out real quick. Let me get one more, man. Let me just get one more, and I'll be out your hair. Let me see here. I think it's Joel 3:3 real quick. Yeah, because this is something that was happening throughout time with us as well, man. In the ancient Roman Empire, slavery, and even today, man, with sex trafficking, and you know, it says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. You know, so back then, they were doing this, during this time in ancient pagan Rome. They was, selling little boys, and doing all types of detestable things with them, man. These devils got a lot to pay for, man. It's so much history that you can go into of all the wickedness that they've done, man. The scriptures say that their wickedness have gone up into the heavens, man, because they've done so much. But I just wanted to go into this, just to shed light on these wicked men that the rest of the world deems as great men, which they weren't great men, and a lot of them were really moles in the background and in their bedrooms, uh, playing the harlot themselves, you know. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I pray it was, and I want to say shalom to the next one.